Hello, York Pathway Person Centered Program. It is Shane B coming at you not live, but previously recorded. I am at the beach right now, living up my life. Probably boogie boarding a little bit. Hopefully, no seagulls poop on my face this time. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. But I just wanted to record some content for you so that way I'm not leaving you hanging. I miss you guys, and I am bummed, as you know, I only get to see you once a week, and but I had to go to the beach sometime this year. So hopefully this is one of the few Thursdays without me at the program. But first set of business, first and foremost, need to talk about fantasy football, okay? Because the people eaters, aka Doris and myself, but mostly Doris, okay? She does all the hard work. She is the queen of the football industry, okay? Anyway, we destroyed the Crunch Captains, okay? 276 to 215, okay? So last year, Doris said, "Don't mess with me," and y'all didn't listen, okay? Because that's the highest scoring team this week, 276, the People Eaters, okay? On the other matchup, the Nautical Nachos beat the Prancing Panthers 240 to 216. So, it's early to talk trash, but we might as well get it started. And, feel free, Nautical Nachos, to talk your trash over the Prancing Panthers. We'll see. It's a new week, though. Today is Thursday that you will be viewing this. At least it'll be Thursday, and that means there's football on tonight. So let's see if the Crunch Captains and the Panthers can redeem themselves, okay? The MVPs for the week are the People Eaters, Cheetah, Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. He was the highest scorer in all of fantasy football this week. The Crunch Captains, your MVP is Aaron Jones, running back for the Green Bay Packers. Nautical Nachos, your MVP is actually the Cowboys defense, which that's a rare showing where a defense is the top scorer, but the Cowboys absolutely annihilated the Giants. It's a little bit like if Michelle and I would step on a football field together, she would have absolutely no chance. It'd be 40-0. And she'd probably go home halfway through the third quarter and complaining about how life isn't fair and, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, Prancing Panthers, your MVP is Austin Eckler, running back for the San Diego Chargers. Actually, now the Los Angeles Chargers. They've been in Los Angeles for a couple years. I don't know what I'm talking about, but they'll always be the San Diego Chargers in my mind. So there's a little starter for you, football. We're gonna go over it every week this year. Try to pump people up, get people to have some fun with it, But just final thought on this is don't mess with Doris, okay? Doris is number one. And Amy, Michelle, Jenny, Katrina, Scott, you're not number one, okay? So I'm sorry to tell you that. So there you have it. We are going to do some art now. Virtually. We talked about Vincent van Gogh last week, if you remember. And we learned about Starry Night, and that was a pretty cool piece. and Miss Val helped me draw that up on the board. You guys all did your colorings of the Starry Night. Melania helped me up on the board too. And remember, we talked about how Van Gogh's works, they don't always look to be literal. Sometimes paintings, you can't tell if it's real life or it's a painting. It's so well done. But when it comes to the Impressionism and Post-Impressionism period, we're looking at pieces of art that represent something that is real. Is real. Shout out to Aaron Spangler. I hope he's having a good time on his trip. But they're painting something that's real, but they're painting it in a way that has its own pizzazz to it, its own flair. And the most notably, heavy paint strokes, oil paint, thick. It looks like something you could touch. Another thing that I mentioned that I had liked about Van Gogh is he's not sitting there belaboring every fine, small detail of the art. Nothing wrong with that, but, if you do want to belabor everything and make everything look perfect, but not everything looked perfect. If you remember the view from his window, where he was staying at that asylum, Starry Night, that painting did not look exactly like what he saw outside his window. What he saw outside his window inspired that painting, but that ultimately was not fully what it looked like. He sort of added his own flair to it. He added the church, which, could not be seen. That was sort of a nod to his dad's church in the Netherlands. The hillside looked a little different, but anyway, I'll stop talking about that. If you guys want to look up what I'm going to talk about today, it is the Sunflower series, okay? So I drew up Shane B's little rendition of the Sunflowers, and I've sent it to your staff ahead of time. So if you would like to color these the way that we did the Starry Night, I just want to talk about it a little bit, and then maybe I'll color mine and film myself doing that, and you can see sort of how I do it. Not that there's a right or wrong, but maybe it can just demonstrate sort of how I envision Van Gogh might color it if he was using markers and not oil paint. Oil paints are awesome, by the way. Maybe I should look into that. Maybe I will, but they are expensive. They are thick and they stain. So I think we would have to get ginormous aprons to not ruin our clothes if I ever do oil paint down the road. I used to oil paint on my bed in high school, and I got paint all over my bedspread. My mother was not happy with me, but I'm a messy guy and I can't seem to keep things where they're supposed to be, so painted all over my bed, and I'm sure my clothes and all that. But anyway, so yeah, this was painted in oil paint. I drew it in marker, and we're going to color it in marker, or you could use crowns or colored pencils. I don't really care. So Sunflower series, okay? So Vincent van Gogh was friends with a popular guy of the time, Paul Gauguin, and oh my word, guess what? They're on to me here. I'm recording, and they're slipping notes. Oh wow. Okay, they're slipping notes. They're trying to intimidate me here. They're jealous of what we have. But I'm just gonna keep going. But Paul Gauguin and Van Gogh, they were painting sunflowers. Okay, sunflowers are cool. They're pretty, and they just got together and they're like, "Let's do this thing." So Van Gogh painted 2 series of these sunflowers. So this is sort of like, this is my little rendition of one of them, but I believe there's he did 2 series. Okay, the first series was in Paris. Arles, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I imagine it's like Carl's without the C, but Arles is where he did his second series, and that's what these look like. The first series, if I recall, he did more like sunflowers laying on the ground type of thing, and the series that I'm going to talk about, he did like in vases. So it's and again, I'm saying I believe a lot, so forgive me for that. You can check me. I do believe there were 7 of the vase series. One is or was in a private collection. I don't know if it is known where that is. One was actually in Japan, and it was destroyed during World War II. If you guys know your history, World War II, pretty much, the whole world was involved because it's called World War II. But Germany, we think of the big guys, the big enemies at the time, Germany and Japan. Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. Anyway, yeah, you guys probably don't need a history lesson right now, but I guess we bombed one of the areas that was holding the one sunflower paintings from Van Gogh. So that's destroyed. It doesn't exist anymore. There's 5 today that you can see. One is in Munich, which is Germany. One is in London, which is England. That's where Aaron Spangler was living for a time in his life. One's in Philly, which is close to us. Maybe some of you have been to Philly. Raise your hand. I won't see it, but raise your hand if you've been to Philly. I love Philly. I love their cheesesteaks. You will hear me talk about it all the time. Amsterdam is another one, and there's actually a Van Gogh museum in Amsterdam. And then Tokyo is the 5th one that you can go view today. Like I said, the one was destroyed. Another one's in a private collection somewhere. I don't know. Maybe some rich person owns it. Who do you think might own that? Maybe Sally Genora owns it. She's pretty royal, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe Doris owns it. Come on. Anyway. One cool thing about the sunflowers is, okay, got your vase. If you notice, some are like blooming or bloomed. You can see the petals and stuff. But like, there's some at the bottom here that, now I know this is hard to tell because I didn't color it in yet. But like this series, he had quite a few sunflowers that were not bloomed at all. So, or they were dying. I guess is a better way to put it. They had bloomed, but they're losing their petals and they're drooping and stuff. And it's kind of cool. I didn't plan it this way necessarily, but I just moved this year, and the one thing I did is I planted a bunch of sunflowers at my house, And so now I truly understand what it's like to take care of sunflowers. And it's funny, like some bloomed right away and start flowering and whatnot, and then others, it took a little bit of time for them to grow the big heads with the flowers, the big round brown spot in the middle with the yellow leaves around it. And so some went right away, and others it was like they were a week or 2 or 3 or a month behind. And I have a mammoth one, and it sounds like it looks like what it sounds. It's mammoth. Oh, think of a woolly mammoth. I think I said that right. Think of Ice Age and that elephant guy. Pretty sure he was a mammoth. This is like a ginormous, like kind of like the one that was at Jeremy's Garden. It's been a while since I've been there, and maybe it's not even there anymore, but there was like that ginormous sunflower at Jeremy's Garden. I've got a mammoth at my house, which has actually grown a couple heads, and it looks awesome. But yeah, as the later ones start to bloom, the ones that bloomed already are already dead. So I do encourage you guys to like look it up. The sunflower series, you'll see like they're not perfect sunflowers. There's some that are looking really pretty and some that look like you can't even really tell what it is, but it's a sunflower that's dead or dying without the petals on it. Even the one cool thing about sunflowers is as they die or age or whatever, the brown center parts you can like rub off. They'll come right out when at the right time, and there's sunflower seeds underneath, and you can pick the sunflower seeds out and you can grow them the next year. And I'm actually doing that at my house. So next year, if you guys want some sunflowers around the program, I will have a ton of seeds. But anyway, even though the one of his paintings, you can see the seeds underneath, which is really cool. But Van Gogh enjoyed the sunflowers because they sort of represent all stages of life. You got some that are dying, some that are at their peak, in their prime, So yeah, I don't think he really wanted people to read into the ones that were dying. This is just life, right? We have young people, we have babies, we have adults, we have older adults, we have old folks like Michelle and Jenny, there's all stages of life. And then there's Doris, someone who's in their prime, looking their best, and Doris would probably be that one. I think that would be Doris. Bright, beautiful. This would be Michelle. That would be Jenny. Scott would be somewhere back here. He's sort of hiding. He's not quite there yet, but he's coming. Anyway, I don't know who's watching this. Maybe this is my last day on the job. But I hope you have laughed, and I hope I have not rambled too much. But I'm just trying to give you guys some content. I miss you guys, and I'm going to start drawing or coloring this now. I'm going to change the angle. So let me cut to me coloring this bad boy, and I hope you guys join me in doing the same, okay? All right. All right, guys, hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to do my best impression at coloring this thing for you guys while blabbing my gums and like watching the video to make sure I'm actually filming what I'm trying to film. So anyway, short little strokes. That's what an impressionist does. Now, one thing about these that I notice compared to the Starry Night, the strokes were much more pronounced. And maybe that's because he was doing the night sky. And remember the letter he wrote to his brother? He just thought that the night sky provided a lot more to look at than the daytime sky, and so it sort of came to life for him, and he painted it in a way that was very bright and beautiful and stuff like that. So maybe that's why that's a little more pronounced. I'm not sure. I am not an expert. I try to know what I'm talking about, so I'm not feeding you guys misinformation, but I think the Sunflower series, you can tell the little individual strokes. It does look a little more thick, and like an impressionist painting does, but in terms of is it as pronounced as Starry Night? I don't believe so. This one does look a little more smooth than that, but another thing I think is interesting, this part that I'm coloring right now, my opinion, this is just me, when looking at it, it just looks like brown blobs. That's just me though. But it's what a sunflower looks like when the petals fall off. So I'm just going at it. Short brush strokes. There's no right or wrong for this, by the way. You do it how you want to. Okay? I don't mind. I just hope you have fun doing it. Okay. If you don't want to color it this way, you don't have to. Some people, the idea of the short strokes is too complicated, and that's okay if that's the boat you fall in. But if you want to do it this way, I think another thing that's cool about this is, again, it's just sometimes a simple way of doing something is not being lazy. It's actually looks really cool in the end. So that's like how I would best describe this kind of art. It's I don't think it's too complicated to do these quick sort of short strokes, and when you do a little bit, it might look like incomplete or something, but when you cover the whole page like this, it really looks cool. Another thing is, I think, like the section I'm coloring now, my opinion, it's a little more earthy than this. But I'm just going to color it bright, partially because I'm using these cheap markers. And I don't have a whole lot of variety in terms of like I've got pretty much just brown, yellow, orange, green. I don't have like light brown and dark yellow, whatever. But oh, I don't think I want brown. Let's see here. I'm gonna make this area a little more, well, maybe I'll do brown and orange just to try to get that earthy tone in there. Okay, I'm gonna work on the leavage. That sounded a little too close to something else, but leavage, leave-age is what I was trying to say, because I make words up. Leaves, leaves. I'm working on the leaves. How about that? Should have just said that from the start. Okay, this area, while I'm at it, I'm just gonna make this area a little more leafy, because I believe that, or not leafy, earthy is what I was trying to go for, because that's just how I remember it being. Okay, and like, so now the camera's on this area. It's not super clear, but that's sort of how it looks to me when I look at it with my eyes. So it doesn't have to be super clear. One thing when you draw something, it can really hurt your feelings if someone goes, "What is that?" Like, to you, it looks like something, but to everybody else, they're like, or to certain people, they might not understand what the heck you just drew. That has hurt my feelings before in the past. People saying, "What did you just draw? Like, what is that?" Because it's like basically like they're saying like, that does not look like what you think it looks like. But again, look, Van Gogh, I would argue looking at some of his paintings, like they do not look like what they are. But it all comes together in the end, I would argue. Okay, so now I'm at the point where I've got the vase, the background, the table. I'm going to just color this real quickly, okay? I'm violating the rule of the short strokes for this. But that's sort of because it just looks a little smoother to me, these areas. And so, in the painting, so it's not gonna look perfect, but I'm just gonna do it real quick here. To show you guys. Really, this is the area that, you know, I want to stand out. So those aren't short strokes, but to me, when you look at it, this is what stands out. This is where I want that aesthetic to come into play. Okay, so I tell you what, I kind of like this the way it is. I'm gonna pick this up. I kind of like the way this looks. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. But if you would like to, you can color the background, or you could color the vase. You can do both. I'm not trying to be lazy. I'm just fitting this in some spare time at the end of my Expressive Arts Day here in Hanover. and the day's winding down, but I think that kind of looks cool. Again, with all this stuff, you don't need to, if I ever have you guys draw something or color something, paint something, it does not have to look exactly the way the original artist did it, or whatever. You can sort of add your own flair to it. If you want to make the vase pink, you make the vase pink. I don't care. Own it. It's your art, so add your own flair and pizzazz to it. So anyway, this is it. Let me see here. I'm gonna flip this. Let's see. Hopefully you're not getting nauseous. All right, I'm not figuring it out. Maybe you can see me, maybe you can't. I'm doing my best selfie impression, but I can't see because the camera's not flipped. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this virtual art session today. Hope you like my mustache. I'm growing it out for football season, and just get ready for that. I don't think anybody can handle it, but it is going to be crazy. That's all I have. Hopefully you laughed. Maybe you cried. Hopefully you didn't cry though. But yeah, this is going to be painful for me to go back and watch myself talk and put this together. But yeah, hopefully someone laughed at some point. That's the whole goal. And hopefully you learned something, right? Hopefully you learned something about Van Gogh. So with that, peace out. Okay guys, so there's bonus content for this video. I was watering my plants tonight and I thought I should get my phone out and show you guys some of my sunflowers. So first I'm going to show you my mammoth sunflower, and it is ginormous. Okay, some of these look healthy, some do not. But check this bad boy out. Look how big he is. Okay, this is my hand. Okay, I don't have like the craziest hands in the world. They're not like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's, but I got pretty big hands. And this, let me see here. Let me see if I can compare this to my face. Okay, it's the size of my head probably. Okay, it's so big. It's slouching, okay? But look, it sort of comes to a point. See this yellow stuff on the end? You just sort of rub it away, and look, sunflower seeds through there. Those are pretty big sunflower seeds. So, in fact, I'm gonna take one out for you guys to compare. Just one. Don't want to strip all of this. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so I got one. Okay, but there's some smaller ones on this one. Those guys are kind of big. Oh, that one's pretty. That's a fresh one. Let's see here. There's a little bee. Hi, bee. Oh, there's another little bee. That's a little bee. Hi, guy. All right, so let me take you around the edge of my house to the other sunflowers, to just show you sort of the contrast. Okay, so some of these bad boys bloomed pretty early for me, and now they're like dying. Okay, just like Van Gogh's sunflowers. Okay, got one that's like half dead. That guy's like, you know, about ready to go out. Yeah, just, I got various levels here. Okay, look at this guy. This guy's pathetic. I don't know how I did not find this guy yet. He is done. Okay, so let me take some of his. Okay, all right. So here's the deal. Okay, see the oh, dang it. All right, cut. All right, no, there we go. All right, see how big that one seed is compared to the one that's above it. So I would say the one that's above it is what I've been getting. That big one is my first mammoth seed. So holy smokes. Let's just come over here. Okay. This one's not doing bad. Not doing great, but it's been a dry year, so I don't know if that has affected it or not. There's some zinnias. I'm trying to become a little gardener here. Okay, this plant is awesome. This guy is not, he's sort of at the end, but look, he's got some orange in him. But again, this just reminds me of his Van Gogh's painting. He's got all different types of sunflowers in his painting. Some are dying, some are not. So over here, I wanted to show you. So this bad boy, all this stuff's off. If I just rub it kind of hard, okay, look at all this. You just get a bunch of sunflower seeds. So staff, or just anybody there at Pathway, if you want any sunflowers for next season, you know where to find me, because I have hundreds already, and I've got quite a few sunflowers left that I'm harvesting. So yeah, I wish I had a third hand I could brush some of this stuff off. There we go. So the little like buds that you brush off before you get the seeds, you don't really want those stored with your seeds, but anyway, there we go. So maybe I can put some of these bad boys in a vase. So maybe next year, because most of these are dying, but maybe next year we'll put some of these in a vase and we'll do like a live painting, a still life they call it in art class. But all right, with that said, I will catch you guys on the flippity flip. All right, see ya.